What up, guys? Welcome to part 2. Native Vulcan pun. To my Star Trek Into Darkness Boob Babble review / synopsis / whatever, me being a geek anyway. So, if you watched my first video, I pretty much told you like the first half of the movie that happened. So I'm about to get into like the second half because I finally found like a way to have my iPod stand so I could just talk to you guys without having it like be like me, and there's no boobs for this part, so it doesn't really matter because I'm just talking to you about stuff that I like. So, where I left off is that Kirk now has John Hamilton in captivity on the Enterprise. So, once they get on the ship and they have him in captivity, Kirk is like, so who the fuck are you? And why did you blow up that building? And why did you kill a whole bunch of people, including Commander Pike, because he was like my dad and shit, and I don't appreciate what you did, so I'm totally gonna make you pay for your fucking crimes. And if I couldn't kill you right now, because I need to find out who you are, I would just murder the shit out of you. So, of course, Spock is like, you know, don't talk to him, he's gonna put shit in your head, or whatever. So, Kirk is like, shut up, Spock, like, I'm gonna talk to him if I feel like it. So, they start talking, and he's like, why the fuck are you doing this, or whatever. And so you find out that John Hamilton's name is not John Hamilton, and that he's been frozen for like 300 years, and that he's a metahuman that like has been advanced like physically and intellectually, so he's a super genius, like Superman pretty much. He can like knock the crap out of anybody, because when he got caught on Klingon, Kirk was like punching him in the face and like kneeing him and stuff, and it wasn't doing jack shit. It was really embarrassing. So, anyway, so then, of course, you know, and this is where I thought that Benedict Cumberbatch, like, really kind of sold me on his character. He was like, oh, you know, I'm a genetically modified human who was created in order to, like, you know, fight and be able to do things better than other people. And then you find out he is Khan. New Khan. Who is, by the way, mad creepy, because I didn't know that Benedict Cumberbatch sounded the way he sounded. He kind of sounds like evil butter is the only way that I've actually had the analogy, because like it's so like liquidy, but he just has like this level of sinister in his voice that just kind of sounds like you're gonna get a boner, but you shouldn't because you know it's wrong. Sploosh. Same thing. So you find out he's Khan, and like the reason why he's doing everything is because the Admiral like unfroze him to set him up so that he could. All the torpedoes have his people, like the other people who like are in the race of like Khan now, all the modified humans, are all in these pods, these torpedoes, and Khan put them in there, still cryogenically frozen, so that he could awaken them and like continue doing what they're doing, which is pretty much like wiping out people because they're like super soldiers or whatever. So Khan is like, I'm doing this because the Admiral set me up and I didn't know that it was going to be this way, so like fuck him and fuck all of you in Starfleet because you're all a part of that shit vicariously. So Kirk is like, fuck that, like you killed Pike and you didn't have anything to do with that shit, like what is your problem? So then Khan is like, oh, there's more to the situation than you actually know, because the Admiral knows about all this, and now that he sent you out here, because conveniently, like as soon as they try to leave Klingon, all their ship stops working and they're like trapped in space, and if they get stuck there, the Klingons are going to find out they're there and pretty much like wipe them out. So Khan is like, don't you think it's convenient that as soon as you captured me, your ship stopped working? And Kirk is like, wait. Yes, that is a horrible situation to be super convenient. Boom, right after that, Admiral shows up, and of course now I'm obsessed with the fact that he's been RoboCop. So he shows up and he's like, oh, what's up? And Kirk is like, oh, so we caught Khan. And the Admiral's like, why didn't you kill him? And Kirk like hesitates and he's like, oh, you talked to him, so he told you stuff. Shit, now I have to kill you because you know the big secret and I can't have you know that shit. Ba-da-ba. So Kirk is like, well, just take me and, like, don't kill the rest of my crew. Like, they didn't have anything to do with this. Like, I came out here. I talked to Khan. It's not their fault. And Admiral's like, nah, fuck that. I'm going to kill you and all your friends because they all know too much now. So, Starfleet's full of shit and we're evil. So, all of a sudden, and this is why I feel like she was conveniently thrown into storyline, the Admiral's daughter shows up and she's like, Daddy, don't do that. You're, like, being a horrible person. What's your problem? So he's like, oh, you decided to be the jump aboard. I'm going to just magically phase you, the thing that Scotty invented in the last movie where he can, like, create, you know, like a transporter anywhere. It's super convenient. Transports her to the ship. So now he's like, now I'm just going to fucking kill all of you. So then, of course, Kirk has to go right into Khan. He's like, shit, man, I need your help because the Admiral's going to kill all of us and I don't know what to do. So Khan's like, be on my team and we'll just, do shit. So he's like, cool, bro. So Spock is like, don't trust the guy who's trying to kill all of us. And Kirk is like, man, I need him. Whatever. I'm using him and he's using me. It's all a big, using whore fest in Starfleet. So, Scotty lands up, sneaking on to the Admiral's ship because Kirk had given him coordinates earlier. So he's, trying to find out, what is really good. So, Khan and Kirk land up putting on suits and diving out into space so they can go and jump across the Admiral ship and kick his ass so that they don't get murdered or whatever. So Scotty's trying to find a way to get them in. So they're doing that and they get in and they get all the way up as I'm pretty much cutting over funny scenes that happen. So they go across and they get inside the ship and then Kirk, Khan, and Scotty are running around trying to figure out how to get to the top or to how to stop them from shutting off their ship. And they're like, oh, if you don't take down your shields, we're going to obliterate you and we'll just shoot through your shields if you don't turn them off anyway. So they get in and the Admiral's trying to find them. So eventually they get to the deck and Khan is like, oh, I'm going to kill you because shit got real, you took all my family or whatever. So they go to do that, and Kirk is like, I can't let you do that, because technically you're still evil, even though he's evil. Double evil means mad evil, and I'm the good guy, so you can't do that shit. So, they knock out Khan, and Khan, is, of course, only out for, 4 seconds, because he's, a villain, so he's like a horror movie character. You knock his ass out, and all of a sudden he appears, in your fucking attic, and he's, stabbing the shit out of you for, no reason. So, they knock him out, and then they're like, Admiral, what the hell is your problem? And the daughter is, trying to get in the way. So Khan's like, bitch, why are you in my way? He breaks her leg, and she starts screaming. And then, he knocks out Simon Pegg and Kirk. And then he goes over to the Admiral, and he, crushes his skull with his hands. He's just like, no! Everyone watches that, and his, head kind of, explodes, even though you don't see it on screen. So then, they, phase back out. And then now, but the only thing, they phase out and they leave Khan with, the Admiral ship, which sucks because they totally have, a shitload of lasers. And the Enterprise is complete shit because they got, they got stopped in Klingon, so, their ship is all messed up. So they're like, well, shit, now he's going to kill us with the Admiral ship, so we got to do something. So then, Spock gets all smart, and he's like, we'll kill them with the torpedoes. So, they shoot the torpedoes at the ship. So then, of course, Khan is mad. He thinks, his whole family's been wiped out by the torpedoes. But, Spock is smart, and he, took all the people out and just killed him with the torpedoes. Which, of course, doesn't kill him because he's a villain. He's a character, so he never gets murdered. So, then they, try to, run away in, warp speed. But, the Admiral had, a modified ship where, you can't run away because he's been working on that super convenient plot line again. So, eventually it comes down where, they think Khan is dead and, they go back to, where Earth is, and then, Khan still shows up in that ship, and he, crashes that shit back on Earth, and he destroys, this whole section of where, people were living and stuff like that. The whole ship that the Admiral had, obliterates, a whole section of, where they are at. So, hundreds of thousands of people die, and everyone's like, we gotta get him. So then, of course, they go, and the ship was broken, so they couldn't leave, and if they couldn't leave, they were gonna, die, because, the Admiral ship is shooting at them, and they're gonna explode because they don't have enough power to run away. So then, Kirk goes into the reactor. By the way, for everybody who doesn't know, a reactor has radiation, and radiation kills people. So, Kirk is like, well, I'm captain, so I gotta take responsibility because I don't want all my team to die. So he goes in the room, and of course he's, consuming radiation while he goes in. He starts, kicking the shit, so the shit reconnects so that it makes the energy happen so that they won't die. So then they're like, yeah, we're not dead, it's a miracle! Not knowing that Kirk is, becoming, completely, radioactive in the process. So then, Spock tries to go stop him with Scotty, and Kirk has a death scene where he's like, I had to do this because, the lives of the many is, versus the lives of the few, totally using, Spock logic back against them, so they're, crying because they're, bromancing, because they're like, you're my best friend too, but I can't touch you because you're, radioactive, dead. So then, of course, which is great, because then Spock gets to say, Kirk's line instead of like in the movie when Spock gets killed by Khan and then William Shatner's like, Khan! So instead, Kirk dies and then Spock gets to be like, Khan! Which everybody, of course, clapped for. And then her's like, go kick his fucking ass. We gotta get him. So then Spock goes to find Khan, and they like have an epic battle, and they're like fighting, and they're like, we have to get him back alive because his blood is like super metahuman, so we could probably bring Kirk back to life. Because Bones comes up with that idea because he figures out because he took a blood sample from him earlier. Super convenient again. Anyway, so Uhura shows up, and she's like, we need him! So Spock like knocks him the fuck out while Uhura's like stunning him, and they take him back, and they give him like a blood transfusion from Khan's blood so that he's like, he had too much radiation, so he was unconscious for like 2 weeks, and because they gave him a whole bunch of Khan's blood, it like regenerated all his cells, so now he's like alive, and Khan is now cryogenically frozen again, and they have him like in a pod, and the movie pretty much ends where like Kirk is like, oh, we're gonna go on a 5-hour exploration to go find out what other worlds are involved. Fuck Khan, he's not our problem anymore. I'm super cool and I get to be commander of the Enterprise. Like, rest in peace, Pike, and the Admiral's a crazy bastard. We're not gonna talk about that. And that's pretty much the whole movie. To be honest, I mean, I know my synopsis sounds like a little like off-key and it makes it kind of sound shitty, but it wasn't. Like, it's just how I'm telling it. It was a really awesome movie. I do wish that there was a little more time, but they kind of had to rush it because Khan is the villain, because like Khan is like a long-standing villain for longer in the series, and I know they had to like time constraints, so there was like no romance and stuff like that, which was fine because I didn't really need to watch a whole bunch of people make out. I mean, there was a little bit of like Spock and Uhura like arguing over like the value of life or whatever, which was like completely unimportant. But all in all, I think that J.J. Abrams did a great job. I really liked the movie. I was like flipping out the entire time. I would suggest for anybody to see it. If I could watch it twice, I probably would. Some people don't feel that way, and they don't like the adaptation because it's new. The only real thing that I had a problem with is, like, I love Zoe Saldana, but she's Dominican. I don't understand why she's always getting stuck playing black characters, because there are plenty of, like, black actors that could have played that role. Zoe Saldana's talented, and, I mean, she did a good job. I don't have a problem with it. I just prefer that if, like, you're going to be a certain race, you might as well be that race. It just makes more sense for, like, how hiring is supposed to work. You know, like, if they all of a sudden made Sulu, like, something else, you know, it would just be stupid. If they made Sulu Indian, I don't even understand, like, why they would do that. Because he's obviously Asian. But besides that, totally loved it. And I really hope that he makes more movies. Because they're going on a 5-year exploration, they can kind of, like, bullshit that for a long time until J.J. Abrams thinks of, like, another plot to bring in. I personally miss Geordi and Data and Worf because I'm an old school fan. But I thought it was good. I really hope that, like, other people see it. And you should definitely wear a shirt and show, like, a whole bunch of support because being a Star Trek fan is awesome. But that's it for my part 2. Thank you guys for watching again. If you don't know my spiel, it is www.facebook.com/BOOBBABBLE for Boob Babble. And I will probably be talking about some more stuff because I kind of don't mind doing review synopsises, which was my original plan in the first place. But it's supposed to be for, like, other things. But I might start doing this a little more. So if you like it, like, comment, share, subscribe. Look at stuff in my description because I'll probably put things for you guys to click. I have a Facebook and I have that and don't know how to talk. I also have an Instagram and I have a Tumblr and my Twitter is private because you guys would take offense to all the mean things that I say. So I will put all those things underneath and I'm going to talk about some more things too. And because it's a 2-parter video, I kind of get away with being a punk and not making a video this last week, but I'm probably going to go see The Great Gatsby on Wednesday, so you might get a movie synopsis about The Great Gatsby. Although if you read the book, you probably just know the whole story, which is like a 30-second synopsis, but I'll probably tell you about how good of a job Baz Luhrmann did, because I really like him since Moulin Rouge. So, thank you guys. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you like the movie. Let's talk about it. We can speak in Klingon, even though I really can't speak Klingon. I just like doing Vulcan High Five, because I'm a nerd. So, peace out, Cub Scout. Peace to the A-Town down. I'm so weird. Bye, guys.